Nanak naam chaddi gala, tere pani sarvata pala. So I'll request everyone to please close your eyes and cite the name of the Lord in which you believe. Nanak naam chaddi gala, tere pani sarvata pala. You can open your eyes. So when we hear about austerity, we often think of hermits, yogis, ascetics, who are having a very difficult, who are living in a very difficult life circumstances and try to overcome the sense of duality. But what is actually meant by austerity? So this is Das Simpy, and in this video we'll see that what is meant by living a austere life, what is actually meant by austerity, and what are the attributes of austerity. Dharam is the underlying nature of the universe, and where we are living, and to be living in the as per the cosmic order and law, the individuals and the world we live gets established into it in such a way that we have to be following this order and law. So through this we have created a platform that realizes which is our true nature. In Padma Puran, which is one of the Hindu scriptures, 12 components are present that indicates, that give instructions that how a person should be living as per the order and law. And one of the, from the 12 component is the tapa, that is austerity. So what is austerity? The simple meaning of austerity is self-discipline, or doing the spiritual practice, that is the sadhana. But in the bhakti marg, in the path of devotion and love, there is only just one discipline, and that is constant remembrance of God. And how we can do it? Through worshipping Him, through listening His glories, and as a purpose of meditation, chanting, etc. So what is austerity? Is the tapas, austere life, regulated, self-controlled, self-discipline. For example, getting up in the morning, getting early in the morning. So this is what you're not able to do it, but you should do it. You'll not be doing it, but you should do it. So getting early in the morning is austerity. It's a cozy bed, and you don't want to get up, but you get up. You have that regulated life. You have that self-control, that self-discipline. This is austerity. For example, chanting. You don't like chanting initially, but you regulate yourself. You make a tapasya. You don't do it as a tap, and you then afterwards it regulates in your daily life circle. This is austerity. Getting up, chanting, doing these things, regulating the self-discipline in one's life. Now, today I will be telling you, as I make clear what is austerity, self-discipline, right? Tapasya, tapas, sadhana, self-regulation, control, self-control, regulation, right? Now, what are the attributes? What are the three categories of austerity? So the threefold practice here are, it's also mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. The first is the austerity of the body. Now, what is austerity of the body? बॉडी का तपस, बॉडी की तपस्या, वो कैसे की जा सकती है? So I have having listed down some few points over it. First one is the worship of the Supreme Lord. Now, how will you do austerity of the body? Through the first point is worship of the Supreme Lord. Now, it's the natural desire of the body to clean itself, to wear proper clothes, right? To dress yourself, have good stuff in eating. And so there is a deity worship. There are many temples around, and we usually go there, visit there, and we also like to dress how beautifully the Lord will look. So how we can downtail the desire of this and look the various forms of the Lord. So this type of a study can also be practiced at home, in our homes, where we can practice this austerity of idols at the home. So this is austerity of the body by worshipping the Supreme Lord. Second point comes here, the worship of the Brahmanas. Now, the first question arises that who are Brahmins? Brahmins, why Brahmins? Because Brahmins are disseminating the knowledge about the Lord to the society. They usually tell people about the society, right? Now, they talk about the glories of the Lord. Now, with the Brahmins, as we have read in the history, that there were caste systems, right? The Brahmins, the Kshatriyas, the Vaishyas, the Shudras. From this there originated the evil in the society. That was through this caste system, there was evil in the society. Of that concept was of untouchability. Now, it was practiced a lot in that ancient times. Even in now also, there are some villages where some area is divided for the higher people, or the higher caste, and some things are divided for the lower caste. And people still practice, there are still some areas where untouchability is followed, which is this, there is an evil that is going on in the society. Now, in the Bhagavad, Lord Krishna says that Chaturvarna Maya Shrishtatam Guna Karma Vibhaksha. That I am the one who have created the caste system. Now the question arises that how could the Lord create such a caste system through which the evils like the untouchability has originated, and how can Lord Krishna advocate such thing? How he can create such things? But the thing is, he has created the caste system, but on what basis? On the basis of gun and karma. That a person predominantly belongs to which gun? The sattva gun, to the rajas gun, to the tamas gun. And on the basis of the work he is engaged in. But this society has created this evil by its own. What they have done were people who used to be Brahmins in the higher caste, and their sons started claiming that because on the basis of the birth, they started claiming on the basis of birth, although the Lord Krishna has divided it on the basis of guns and karma, guna and karam vibhaksha. So what people started doing, that if I have been born in the family of Brahman, and you should worship me because I am in the I have been born in the family of Brahmins. And now it's very wrong things. Suppose there is a son of a high court judge, and he claimed that I am the son of the high court judge and I should be the high court judge too. Or a doctor start claiming because my father is a doctor, I should also be doctor. And people started demanding respect. So that's why this created an evil in the society. It was not meant to be, but people started making out of it. So this is very wrong on this part, that people started demanding respect, because I am born in this house, so I should also be getting respect. So what what you have to do is you have to use your intelligence. People claiming to be Brahmins, people dressed up as Brahmins. So you should have intelligence. You can have the material discretions. You can follow the things as per the market discretions, but you have to realize about the qualifications. Now, what are the qualifications? First of all, who is a Brahmin? Who is Brahmin? One who follow the Brahman. And what is the karma of Brahmins? Pathan Pathan, Yajan Yajan. Means Pathan means who study. Studying what? Scriptures. Pathan. Pathan means who teach others, imparting knowledge to the others. Yajan. Yajan means one who engages in the sacrifices. And Yajan. Yajan means to please the Lord. So this is the karma of a Brahman. This is the qualification you should be having. So if you're claiming that just because you are this thing, you should be go through the proper channel. If you want to be like a doctor, if you want to be a judge of high court, you have to go through the proper channel. You have to follow the proper qualifications. If you're not going through the proper qualifications, isn't the right thing. So these are the proper qualifications. You should also look upon it. Suppose I just saw that there was a person who was having a havan in this house. So two Brahmins came there and they were having a havan in their house. And when asked that what is the purpose of this yagya, this havan, it was told that the real purpose is to have the positivity, to have the to create a positive environment, purification. Now the thing is, there were two Brahmins. The motive behind both of them were the material. It was of materialistic nature. The person who was having the yagya havan, the material behind him, the motive behind him was to have the purification, to have the positivity. And the two Brahmins who came there, they were carrying such a bag around them, such like a laptop bag, and they have all the things put in there. And when they were done with the havan, they were just standing beside for the dakshina, the remuneration for doing that work. Actually, Brahmins are not made for this thing. But in that thing, what was the reason? So they were there for the remuneration. He was doing it for the positivity, and so that he's giving money for that, and the Brahmins were taking as a remuneration that, yeah, nowadays what is happening? Brahmins used to do some few things, pujas and all, and they are getting consideration for that. So this has become the intent today. But Brahmins were not meant for that. So you have, as we have read, we have go through the qualifications. One must look upon that. One must use the intelligence that who is the real Brahmins. So even in the Asian times, the Vedic times, people used to call Brahmins at their home. They get to use their feet washed up, and for the Brahman Bhoj, right? They were ofena to feed them, right? Because it was often said that the Lord eat through the Brahman's mouth. So so it is that's why it's called that one should worship the Brahmins. So it is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. In the text 14, Krishna says one of this point is worshipping the Brahmins. So one must look for the qualifications, as I have mentioned, and not only about going through the outer personality or the externally. One should also look at the qualifications and worship the Brahmins. Now this next point comes here, the worship of spiritual master. Now I would like to ask you, why spiritual master? Why one should worship spiritual master? Can anybody tell me why we should worship spiritual master or guru?
I guess. Hello.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I guess, ma'am, we should worship the spiritual master because just because of them, maybe some of the some portion of blessings we may get.
Okay, forgetting blessings. So the thing is, you're right on your path, but the thing is,
To show love and respect for our master, we need to worship him.
sorry, okay, to get love and affection. One second. Sorry for the disturbance. Yeah, one set to get blessings and another one set to for the love and for the love, right, and affection. So you are right on the. You might be right on your path, but the thing is to get Lord. Who will take us? Who will make us meet to the Lord? This is the spiritual master, the Guru. So the Guru is the one who is gonna taking us and who will make us meet the Lord. Now, even in the materialistic life, if you have to meet a big person, you have to go through a proper channel, right? If you want to meet such a big person, you should be having some contact, right? For example, but there are some limitations also. Like potentially, I could meet Narendra Modi, right? But can I just pick up my phone and call it? Yes, I want to meet you. Make an appointment for me. No, you have to go through a proper channel. You should be having some people in contact, and then you can get appointment. And when it's fixed, yes, now you can meet him. That's the proper channel. So when you have to meet a bigger, such a person with who is such a big personality, you have to go through a channel who is very close to that person. So you agree with me? So, who is very close, who is very dear. So when you have to meet the Lord, you have to be in contact with a Guru. It is often said that if you get the mercy of a true devotee of the Lord, you can get mercy of the Lord. But if you do not get mercy of a true devotee of Lord, then there is no hope for us. So it is very important. So if you have to meet the Lord, you should have a person who is close to him, who is the real devotee, who is serving him, who knew the mood of the Lord. And that is Guru, that is spiritual master. That's why it is said in Bhagavad Gita to worship the spiritual master. We are reading the austerity of the body here. That it's the first attribute, right? The austerity of the body. And in the body, we have read till worship of the Supreme Lord, worship of the Brahmans, worship of the spiritual master. So this is the importance of worshipping the spiritual master. Now, next comes to the point. Let's come to the fourth point, which is superiors like father and mother. This also comes in the austerity of the body. Now, I would like to say that it's a very good thing in our tradition, in our society, that there is a culture of touching the feet of the parents to receive blessings. Although westernization has almost dismantled it and eroded this traditions, but still we are having this in India. Although the band has been reduced to a little, it's like pav lage and it's almost reach up to the knees. So the band has been reduced to a little, but still this is a custom here. So usually you have seen people who are very much indulged in the chanting, in doing devotional activities, right? Reading scriptures. But there are parents, what they used to say, क्या बकवास कर रहे हैं, ये क्या कर रहे हो तुम, है ना, यहाँ से आज के बाद नहीं जाना, यहाँ पे आज के बाद नहीं जाना. They used to deny, they used to ask their kids not to go there. There was a kid who was very much interested. He was about of 20, late 20s, and he was very much interested in reading the scriptures. But his parents were very upset, and they just completely refused him and asked him, "No, you are not allowed to go there. This is not thing. Kya seekh lega, kya kar lega? This is wrong thing." So there are parents who used to ask you not to do these things. And there was his grandfather who used to say that I'm of 70 years and I have not read Gita yet. And you're just of 20 and he wants to read it. So people brag about it. Like, we haven't read till 70 and he is in the late 20s doing this thing. Now, I'll ask this question to everyone here, whether one should obey your parents and do as what they are saying and not to go on these things, not to go in the path of spirituality. Who are in this part? Who say yes, we should obey our parents and we should not do these things? Anybody who says we should obey our parents?
Tangudarshan.
Tangudarshan.
As per your question, that should we obey our parents or not, or we disagree with them? So I must say that we should respect them, but if they ask to not to go towards the spiritualism, then at that part we should just say that we don't fight with them, we don't argument with them, but we should just say to them what's bad in going towards the spiritualism. We just present our thoughts towards them, that if I do this, then what is the bad effect of these things. Tell me the things to their parents. If the parents said no, there is nothing bad in that, then I think the queries between the parents and the child become clear towards their parents, that this is the thing that we are just stopping to our child to not to do this. So don't argue with them, respect them, and don't disobey. I must say that don't disobey them, but try to explain your thoughts, that you just or present your reality towards your what's your belief in spiritualism, I guess.
So you are saying to ask them to convince them. उनको मनाओ जाके, right?
Yeah.
Anybody else who says no, we should disobey and we should go there? Anybody's having any examples to it, or anybody wants to share their opinion about it?
Yes, I would say disobeying is the best option at the time, because initially, maybe for a minute, they may feel bad, but the kind of changes that I will have after going and connecting to spirituality. They today my parents are one of the, I'm also one of those. My parents opposed me, but today they're proud of me when I just chant before taking my meal, and the kind of dresses I wear and all the kind of the positivity they can see in me. Obviously, today they are okay. So in the beginning, and one more thing, I consider this is a challenge which God has given us. Before coming to Him, He will give such a. It's all Maya. It's a moha. It's attachment that is written in the Bhagavad Gita. Like, if you want to come to me, then you have to cross the boundary of Maya moha also. So you have to sacrifice the moha, your attachments. Sometimes your relative, your friends, your family, your so colleague, your dear one, your near one, they may be their attachment would not let you connect to the God. So I guess it's just about exam of us, and that's what we have to go through, and so that we can connect to the God.
Very well said by Upasana ji and Saurabh. So, can you give me an example of any great devotees or the great personalities who have disobeyed and still they are respected?
Prahlad.
Very good. Anybody else? Or any, you could name anything else? Anybody else? Yes, the first example I have is of Prahlad. He disobeyed his parent, but still he is respected. He is being called as Mahajan. Mahajan, who is very the authority in the spiritual science, who have the authority in the spiritual science. So one should always follow the Mahajans about by looking at the activities they are doing. Now I'll take one more example. Do you know about Shukracharya?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So Shukracharya was the guru of Bali Maharaj. Now who was Bali Maharaj? Don't say disciple of Shukracharya. Bali Maharaj. So Bali Maharaj was a king who was born in the family of Asurs, but he was a great devotee of Lord Vishnu. So what happened? One day, one fine time, Lord Vishnu ji came at the doorsteps of Bali Maharaj, and because he came in the as disguised, he's been disguised as in the form of Brahman, and that Brahman's name was Vamandev. So at that time, usually when a sage come, when a saint come, whatever he asks for, you usually give it, right? So Lord Vishnu disguised himself as a Brahman, as a Vamandev, and when he just came in the doorsteps of Bali Maharaj, and when he was about to ask, then he said, "I want 3 pieces of land from you." This is the 3 steps. Now, Shukracharya was very intelligent. He came to know that this is Lord Vishnu, who is actually disguised as Brahman, Vamandev. So he immediately asked Bali Maharaj to don't get into it, that this is he is Lord Vishnu, don't get into this. Why? Because he was very selfish. Because he knew that whatever Lord Vishnu has asked, it means everything will be gone. And if everything will be gone, here the devotee will be given everything, and also Shukracharya will be losing everything, because Bali Maharaj was his devotee. So he was also getting, so he was very selfish. So now what happened, that Bali Maharaj said that you have yourself said that Lord Vishnu is the Supreme Lord, and when Supreme Lord asks, he has given us everything, and if he asks us from us anything, we should give everything to him, so I'll give him everything to him. And he asked, yes, you can take. So he wanted 3 steps, 3 pieces of land. So in the first step, when he took the first step, he covered the whole material desire. He covered the whole materialistic things, and the whole materialistic things were given to him. And when he took the second step, it covered the outer sphere, the outer dimension, which covers all the spiritual inside, that outer universe. Now, the Vamandev asked, "Where should I keep my 3rd foot?" Then Bali Maharaj said, "You can keep it on my head, and I am all yours." So this was the story of people who have disobeyed their superiors, and still they are. After Diwali, there is even a festival of Bali kept after Bali Maharaj. Even there is a Vaman Jayanti. There is something Bali. I'm not much aware about it, but there are festivals kept on him. So they are being worshipped now. They are being portrayed as the spiritual masters of the. They are very who have attained higher level from their point. So the thing is, yes, we have to respect our elders, but actually everyone is an individual soul. Everyone is here for their own betterment, right? So today's spoiled children are actually of yesterday. The today's parents were actually spoiled children of yesterday. And what are today's youth doing? They are indulging such activities like smoking and the bad activities, drinking alcohol, drugs. They will also become eventually parents after 5 to 10 years, right? So they're also creating their own. They will also become parents. So what I'm trying to say is, so we don't have to blindly take this statement that to respect your elders. You should you should use your proper intelligence. And if you are very well aware about that, how it is going, to which side, if you are sure that it's going against the spiritual junction, but you're doing it right, then you can do it as per your intelligence. So as I have mentioned the examples of the devotees who have disobeyed their superiors or their parents, but they are still worshipped. So it is kept going in that way. My next 5th point comes here: practice cleansing oneself externally and internally. Now, what does it mean? What is meant by practice cleansing externally. Externally means washing yourself, like having a regular bath. And for Brahman, it is minimum 3 baths. But in today's era, in today's Kalyug, 1 bath is like, bahut ho gaya. So this is like externally. Now, what about internally? How you can cleanse yourself internally? We are going through the topic of austerity of body here, and my 5th point here is practice cleansing oneself externally and internally. So how you do it internally? By chanting. Suppose you just visit a house after 3 years, and what you see in the mirror will be covered with the layer of dust. And when you will clean wipe it, then you will get the real picture. So this heart is like that mirror. Over it, there is the layer of dust of ignorance, greed, this activities which are not supposed to be doing, this dust layer. So by chanting, one can purify their heart, and you may get the real, you will get to see the reality. So this is how you should be practice cleansing of your body, of your mind, internally, externally, both, and your soul. Now let's come to the 6th point, that is simple in behavior. Means no duplicacy. ये नहीं कि सामने से कुछ और है, पीछे से कुछ और है, सामने कुछ और बोल रहे हैं, पीछे से कुछ और बोल रहे हैं. You should be like inside and outside, you should be safe. In what is said at simple living, high thinking. But in today's world, the philosophy say that high living, no thinking. Why? Because once it was asked that one person said high living and no thinking. No thinking means not thinking about anything. It's about not thinking about the prime subject or the main matter or the higher state. Actually, simplicity also means in simplicity also it means that there is no need of sitting half naked in the deep snow and freeze, or exposing our body, exposing ourselves to the unbearable heat, or fasting till we get to the bones and skins. Simplicity also doesn't mean that you can't enjoy the riches and you have to wear rags and live in the caves. Simplicity is something with the mind, what's happening in the mind. So one should be having a simplicity in the behavior. If you keep simplicity in your behavior, then you will come into the real sense of goodness, into the real sense of devotee. Then the goodness, the good things, it will manifest itself. For example, you are having an ego problem. You can't say that from tomorrow I will not have an ego. From tomorrow I will speak. I will be honest. I will be speaking. I will be truthful. So these things cannot be artificially imitated. Actually, our body is overpowered by such things like greediness, lustness, these things which deteriorate the quality of the soul. So one should be simple in their behavior. By this, they will be inclined towards the real form of devotee and the reality, the basis, that if you will have the strong base, strong foundation, that only the good things will be manifested in itself. But if you are having the base is not pure, you're not simpler in that, then you know what will go. Coming to the last point of the austerity of the body, here it is celibacy. What is celibacy? It's a brahmacharita. Now you will say that we are living in this materialistic world. How we can practice brahmacharita? Well, brahmacharita in materialistic life means you are not indulging yourself outside the boundaries of the marriage. If you're married, you're respecting each other. If you're married, if you're married, then you are practicing integrity. Not like in today's world, people are having extramarital affairs, they are engaged in the pleasures, dating sites, live in relationships. So these are the things that how you can have it in a proper framework. You should be doing the things which are meant into the framework, into the boundary, not going out of the boundary. This is how you can practice brahmacharya, celibacy, in the materialistic life. Now, some people think that spirituality means you should not be having pleasure, because people have so much taken themselves like they are just wanted to be in the pleasure. That's why they are doing these things, because they are feeling pleasure into it. Now they think spirituality is something that will restrain you from having pleasure, but actually spirituality is not devoid of varieties, not devoid of enjoyment, not devoid of relationships, not devoid of social interactions. People are becoming fool in the name of enjoyment. And young people, they think they're enjoying, but they have to face the consequences. What is materialistic life? It is a nectar in the starting and poison at the end. And what is spirituality? Poison in the beginning and real nectar in the end. So there are even rules given in the scriptures about the institution of the marriage for humans, not for animals. Like you have seen dogs, they could be mating with anybody, anywhere freely, because they are not regulated. Why we are capable of reading those scriptures, regulating ourselves. This is the real austerity of the body. Your body is demanding, but you're not doing it. This is the austerity of the body. So managing yourself, being staying in the framework, following the scriptures. Now we have we are done with the austerity of the body, and I would like to repeat all the points what we have done till yet. So in the austerity means self-discipline, and we have three attributes of it. Firstly is the austerity of body. In the austerity of body, we have read that we should be doing worship of the Supreme Lord, worship of the Brahmans, worship of the spiritual master, and superiors like father and mother, using your intelligence, practice cleansing oneself externally and internally, simplicity in behavior, and celibacy. There are many more things like non-violence, self-restraint, serving gods and gurus, etc. Now next is austerity of speech. How I'm speaking. So I'm also having some various points listed down in it. So what is austerity of speech? That you should be speaking truthfully and which is beneficial to others, which does not hurt the sentiment of others, and it's very pleasing. It's very dear, and it is something related to the religion. And you should not be speaking something that hurt others. Avoid such speech that offends. And one should. It also includes reciting the Vedas regularly. And the first point here is in the austerity of speech is one should not speak in such a way so as to agitate the minds of others. So you should not speak in a way that somebody get hurt by. But there is a point in it. There are sometimes it happens that your spiritual master usually say harsh words to you, and people get offended. And people think that now you will ask me that how could the spiritual master be speaking harsh words and it is all still correct? Even Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita has used some harsh words like mura, fool, or somebody who's not intelligent enough, who is being caught in the Maya, and asur. There are many words like harsh words, but the thing is why spiritual master used it. Suppose you are sleeping, you are snoring, and one have to make you awake. So what they will do, that they will say, get up. You're still snoring, they will raise their voice and they will say, get up. So as still you are not wake up, the voice will rise and he may also shout so as to wake you up. So this is what the spiritual masters are doing. We are actually blissfully sleeping in the lap of Maya. And our spiritual master, he care for us. He don't want us to let us sleep. He will not be saying that, he will not be pampering us for staying in the ego, staying in the Maya. He will then use the harsh words to make you wake, to get up, to rise, shake it up, to shake it, that get up from this, don't be sleepy in this Maya. For example, suppose there is suppose a kid is flying a kite on the terrace and the terrace is inclined, right? It's not straight. So the kid is so much engaged in the flying, so much engaged in the activity that after he doesn't care, and he was about to get fall. He was near to the terrace, near to the rooftop, and he was about to fall. And suddenly you saw it. What you will do? You will shout and say, "Pagal hai kya? What are you doing? Pagal hai kya? Gir jayega." You will use the harsh words. You will say wrong things. You will shout. Now you will say, "Where is the austerity of speech here?" But this is, we have to look upon the real intent. The real intent. So if the real intent is to care for others, then this could be used. But if the real intent is of getting envious or making others sad, something like that, so this should not be used. As like teachers are scolding, so punishment has its place. Even Chanakya Pandit has also said that try to speak as a matter of duty. Your intention is not to hurt, but truth may be painful. So you may, the intent will be looked upon. What is the intent? If you are speaking harsh, but the intent is to help others, then it is right. This is the right austerity of speech. But if you are speaking something that is hurting others, offending others, to for in the sake of ego, to pull down others, then this will not work in that thing. So study of speech should be, one should speak in a, one should not speak in such a way that has to agitate the minds of others. Now, next point is spiritual limitless talk of Vedic literature, and one should study this. So one should study the literatures, the scriptures, because what is gone out of the mind, it's what gone in. So what you study, what you heard, what you comprehend, so this is what we read, so this is what we speak. So then the next point here is, when speaking in spiritual circles, one statement must be upheld by the scriptures. So what we talk, at the best of our knowledge, it should be within the framework of the scriptures. You should not be speaking something that is misleading or misguiding others. So this was all about the austerity of the speech. I will like to repeat my points, what we have learned then. In the austerity of speech, we should be speaking truthfully and beneficially for others, not in a way not hurting the sentiment of others, and which is pleasing and dear. And we should avoid the speech that offends. And one should also recite the Veds regularly. We are having the points that one should not speak in such a way as to agitate the minds of others, and spiritual limitless talk of Vedic literature, and one should study this. So there is a limitless talk. There are so many scriptures available, countless scriptures that give us the spiritual stories that help us lead in the path of the spirituality. And next point is, last point is, when you are speaking in the spiritual circles, one statement should be upheld by the scriptures. You should be scriptures that should have knowledge about. Now come to the third one, the third attribute, that is the austerity of the mind. Now you have done austerity of the body. Actually, these all are interconnected. Suppose if you are having the good austerity of the body, it means you are having a good mental strength. And with a good mental strength, the good mind, you are speaking good. You are having a good austerity of speech. Now comes to the austerity of mind. I will say a few words that serenity, simplicity, gravity, self-control, and purity of thoughts, and these are the austerities of the mind. What is serenity? Serenity means calmness. Second was simplicity, living a simple life. Third is gravity. Gravity means who is grave, who is not fearless, who is not loose in his character, who when speak in the words are measured when spoken. Next is self-control, controlling our mind, speech, and body. Then purity of thoughts, that we should have pure thoughts. These are all the austerities of the mind. This is how you can practice. तपस्या कैसे की जा सकती है माइंड की ऑस्टेरिटी की, ये इन चीजों से. These are the things. So the first point here is, in the study of the mind, to make the mind austere is to detach it from the sense of gratification. What is sense of gratification? We all have this goal in our life, to have sense of gratification, materialistic desires. Work hard, party harder. Then you earn money and you spend it on enjoying the things, having luxurious thing, party, drink, something. These are the today's quotes. But this should not be. To make the mind austere, mind को तपस्विक बनाने के लिए, you have to detach it from the sense of gratification. ये मोह माया से detach करना पड़ेगा. The second point here is, the more we think of sense enjoyment, the more the mind becomes dissatisfied. जितना हम, the more we are thinking about it, that we are feeling pleasure in. Even in the Vedic times, you must have heard about dharma, arth, kam, moksha. The dharam people, they were the four prasad people were following. They were following dharam, right? So they get following dharam will lead to the arth. Arth means money, finances, and by arth you get the kam. Kam means desires. Your desires get fulfilled, and after kam, you attain for moksha. This was the real purpose. But now, what has happened today? Dharma has been lost, right? People are just here for the two things, earth and kam, for the money and the materialistic desires. And this is their original intent. They are sitting here for these things. They are being selfish. They are being mean. They are here apne स्वार्थ के लिए, not for pleasing Lord. But the real purpose of dharma, as per Bhagavad, is dharmasya hi apavargasya. Means now what there is a thing that there is a perception of materialistic desire, that is pavarga. There are some Hindi words, that is pa, fa, ba, bha, ma. Pa means parishram, hard work. Fa means pena. Like suppose an example is, there's a horse is riding so fast, he's doing so much hard work that the foam comes out of his mouth. That's the fena. Then comes the ba. Ba means dearth, which is waste, which leads to disappointment. Then comes the bhe, fear. Then comes the ma, mrityu. So dharma means dharma hi aparvagasya, which nullifies the pavarga, which nullifies these things. And then comes to the third point of austerity of a mind. That silence means that one always thinking of self-realization. If you're silent, some people take your silence as like you have nothing to speak, but instead of speaking nonsense, you should be at least silent. So speaking the right thing, which is uplifting the society, which is about the Lord. This is the austerity of the mind, speaking the right thing from the mind, right? And the last part is, the best course is to, you can divert your mind to the Vedic literatures, because they are full of satisfying others, and in the Purans and Mahabharatas. So these were all of the qualities that together constitutes the austerity in the mental activities. So let me recap about austerity of the mind. In austerity of the mind, we have read that serenity, simplicity, gravity, self-control, purity of thoughts. These are the austerities of the mind. And to make the mind austere, you should detach it from the sense gratification. This is the first one. Secondly, the more we think of the sense enjoyment, the more it will become dissatisfied. Then third, we read about the dharma. What was the dharma and what it nullifies. Then the fourth, we read about the silence. And fifth, we read about that reading the scriptures and what it is useful. And this all together constitute the qualities of the austerities of the mind. So today we have done austerity, the attributes of austerity. So I will just give a quick recap of what we have done today. So austerity. Austerity means self-discipline, regulating, self-control, tapas, sadhana, in the spiritual practice, in the bhakti marg. So there is in the bhakti marg, there is an only one discipline, that is the constant remembrance of the God. And for the simplicity, you have to just follow the, you should be knowing 3 points. That who you are, what is your goal, and what are the things that led you to a goal. And to practice this, you have to understand the threefold practice of austerities: austerity of body, austerity of mind, austerity of speech. By practicing this is the real austerity. People think that yogis and hermits and ascetics sitting somewhere doing these things that are giving some tough things to the body is actually austerity. This is not the austerity. First of all, you should not be doing the things that is harsh to your body, but sometimes you should be doing things that actually pave the way for the spirituality, that actually just block all the obstacles that are coming to the way of your spirituality. This is the austerity. Austerity should be like disciplining yourself, like suppose waking up in the morning, early in the morning, chanting the name. So this is if you're doing this, you're capable of doing this, this is austerity. If you're able to do that, I know it's tough, but if you're doing it, the determination here, this is austerity. So doing such things that pave the way for the in the spiritual growth, doing such things, doing such tapasya, this is the real austerity. And there are 3 attributes to it, 3 gun towards it, and these are austerity of the, first of all, austerity of the body. Through body you can perform austerity, right? How? You can worship the Supreme Lord. Either you can be sitting in your homes, you can worship there, and you could be going to the temples. Worship of the Brahmins, worship of the spiritual master, worship of spirits like father and mother. Then practice cleansing oneself externally and internally, simplicity in your behavior, and celibacy. There are many more points to it, like non-violence, self-restraint. This would also be included in this, and you should practice the self. This is how you can do the austerity of your body. Through body, अपनी बॉडी के थ्रू हम तपस्या कैसे कर सकते हैं, ये वो चीज है. Then I talk about the austerity of the speech. How you can do the tapas of your through your speech, अपनी भाषा, अपने बोलने से. ऐसा speak something that is pleasing, that is not hurtful, with the right intent. This is how you can practice the study of speech, right? Which is truthful and speaks about the religion. Speaks about the praises of the Lord, right? The third comes here, the austerity of the mind. Mind की तपस्या कैसे की जा सकती है? You can have read to the Vedic literatures. Have calmness. You should have pure thought, purity of thoughts. Detach yourself from mind. Simplicity is actually from the mind. What is happening in the mind? Simplicity is not like sitting somewhere in the freeze and snow and half naked you are sitting there, or you are bearing the unbearable like heat, or you are fasting. You're fasting at that much extent that you are just having skin and bones left. This is not that. Simplicity is with mind. So you have purity of thoughts, have simplicity. You should be having gravity. Person whose words are measured, spoke while speaking. Third, and these things, these are the austerities of the mind. Detaching yourself from the sense of gratification and reading through the literature, Vedics and books. So these were the, actually people think that this first of all, this word is not so common that people used to heard. If I'll say here tapasya ke gun, people would have understood. This is a study. Now also people are not aware about that how austerity is linked to their life. People think yogis or ascetics, sannyasi log, इन लोगों का काम है. ऐसा नहीं है. This is not the thing. Austerity can be done, performed by all of us. And this while living in this materialistic world, while having this materialistic things, we can still practice austerity. It's not only that the yogis or the sannyasi who are doing they have to practice. We can also practice austerities. So today in this video we have learned about how we can practice austerity and how it helps us in the process in our spiritual growth. So I hope you all have understood this. This is not a topic that belongs to a particular category of people or to the sannyasis, to the yogis. This is something which we all should be practicing in our daily lives, so that we may get through as to enhance spirituality, our spiritual growth, and our closeness to the Lord. That's it for today, and the session is officially over from my side. Now if you want to ask any question, then you may proceed. If you're having any doubts in the session, if you're having any question, please you may ask. Otherwise I'll be asking you a question.
Nanak naam Shardikula, Tere Pane Sabadakula. I have a question, like I have doubts that if we are just like as you have said that austerity of speech, do not speak such word that hurt someone, like, and if we just don't want to hurt someone, or if we just don't want to share our feelings with somebody, those who don't like us, we know that they in front of us they don't like as much as we understand them, but still we don't want to spoke such word that may hurt any way or die way. So is it our ego? I just want to ask, is it our ego or respect towards them? What we can say?
So your question is, you don't want to speak some words to with the people who like us, because so as not to
hurt them, but they according to them, we are just presented towards them as if we are just egoistic. So is it our ego towards them, or is it our respect towards them to not to hurt them? I just want to clear my confusion.
So actually the answer to your question is the basic funda behind this should be the intent. What is your intent? First of all, if someone see, it's better to speak the truth. If you are using the harsh words, but it is benefiting the other, सामने वाले का फायदा हो रहा है आपके harsh words. Like we mentioned my examples. Sometimes spiritual master also use harsh words. तो पागल है, तो बेवकूफ है. and people get offended, but it's for the benefit of your. So if you think speaking something will benefit somebody, the intent behind your speaking is that yes, I am doing correct thing, then you should definitely do that. Even though it will hurt other for the short term, but for the long run it will be helpful. And
But
in this,
sorry to interrupt in between. But today, what is the scenario of the society is that if you just tell someone for their betterment, they thought that कि तुम तो बहुत ज़्यादा समझदार बनते हो अपने आप को. So I guess I just don't get मतलब I just get confused in these things. If I just want to tell something good for their benefits, then they thought that we all are just showing ourselves to be a very good person in the society. So what should we do in front of them?
see, if something wrong is happening in front of you, definitely you are not gonna stay silent. If something going wrong in front of you, it's that much wrong that you can't even resist yourself from speaking. Then you should must go and do your part. That's it. You are only restricted to your karmas. Perform your karma only that much. Speak that much. That is required. So only stating somebody that this is wrong, in my opinion, else your wish. Rest leave to them, because ultimately the choice is of others. So if somebody has come to us, then also, and if you are seeing something in front of you that something wrong is going on, and you can by your words tell them, then do obviously you can do your karma, but there is we are not. We can't decide what will be the reaction. We can't expect anything from anybody else. We can just perform our karma, and we can what we should do is what is right and what is the real intent. But that's it, if you're looking at it. But if it's far away, then you not need to go and chase after them, that telling them no, do this, because eventually this is basically everyone here is an individual soul, and everyone will get their own karma, and God is there who will tell us through the experiences. Some people may learn through the experiences that what is right, what is wrong. So rest leave it to the destiny, rest leave it to God. You should only use your austerity of the speech, that means which is up to required.
Up to required, yes. I guess मतलब उनको अपने हाल पे छोड़ देना ही बेहतर है अगर वो लोग नहीं समझना चाहते तो.
Yeah, we can't just chase somebody. किसी के पीछे तो नहीं पड़ सकते ना. It might be not be their time right now to understand these things. ये बुद्धि भी तो गुरु देता है, गुरु कृपा से है. You get the right, if you are the wisdom, you get the wisdom through your Lord, through the God. If you're not having the right time, you might not even understand the basic things. Yes. And sometimes people, after getting the experiences, then they understand, oh yeah, you are right, I was wrong.
Let them do their work, what they want to do, and afterwards, when they get realized that we are not wrong at that time, then they may realize afterwards. So let them do
asking not to chase after them. If once you can tell them, because you can perform your duty, and if there is something like some people will understand through experiences, let them be, because maybe it's not you, that through you he may understand. That person, कुछ लोगों को अकल बादाम खा के नहीं ठोकर खा के ही आती है, तो maybe some people may realize through the things. अब parents बोलते हैं कि there is a मतलब आगे खड्डा है, there is a satchel है, and अब कुछ लोगों को, some people understand that yeah, my parents are saying he will step back. Some people will understand by falling down into it. So this is as per their destiny, as per their senses they are having. So we our work is to stop them. Don't go. Now it's upon them. It's their choice whether they have to stop there or they have to go, because this is their own experience.
Thank you. You have explained a very beautifully way. I've understood it.
because this is a very interesting topic. People think that these topics are such like what is this topic, but there are very interesting things. I have a very interesting question for you people. First of all, I'll ask if anybody is having any question out for me. Otherwise, I'll be asking you a question here, which is very much related to this topic. Okay, I'll ask you a question. Okay. Now, as I have mentioned many points, celibacy, worship of Supreme Lord, worship of Brahmans, spiritual masters. I have mentioned many points, right? Now, there is a question that should be coming in your mind that we have understood this lot of points. We are practicing this. Still, we are still a developing country. We have not developed much in India. But if you will see any foreign country, for example, America, they are not doing these things. They're not practicing celibacy. They're not practicing these things, but they're still very prosperous. They're still very happy. How? How is not in fact doing these things instead of doing things they're still happy? Could anybody tell me how? So what is the purpose of doing these things? Why I have taught you all these things? Why should we be doing these things? They're not doing these things. They are still very happy. Why one should do these things? Why one should worship the Supreme Lord? Why one should worship the Master? Why one should perform celibacy and be in the framework of the scriptures? When such people are not doing these things, but they are still happy. Can anybody answer me?
Hi, Tangur Darshandi. How are you?
Tangudarshan, I'm very fine. How about you?
I am also fine, Di. Didi, first of all, I would not be agreeing to this statement because I am been there in Canada for a long time. And the main thing that why I'm not been agreeing to this, statement is because we are performing, giving several things to the, any saint, or for example, we gives the alms to the saints or any beggar, which can confront in front of the gate and all, yeah. But still, the question that you arose is that still by giving a lot of taking up a lot of good things around us, serving the community, for example, in any saint or any good or any beggar, it's like that case. But still, the India is developing. It's not developed like America or any Western country. But the reason that I can put forward about the experience that I had is, for example, if you can consider the case of Canada or America, we have Easter Day there, we have Thanksgiving Day there, and we have, several celebration, even in the Christmas that I have, observed. They tend to give, giveaways to people without any greed. But even, but in India, if we are performing any ritual, for example, in the case of Navratri, we worship the small girls and all. We have a greed that Ma will come, she gonna bless us with the gold and the money. And I think the greed is the main the cause that may have let us know, and we may have made us in the developing situation right now. But in Canada, what I have been doing at that time, what I have observed, we give the things without having any purpose of doing that. We just do it. We just have only a glimpse of the smile that we can see over the faces of the people, especially the children's in the day of Thanksgiving and in the Easter's day. And what we see are large chunks of the happiness that we see in the Christmas also. So might be the reason that the greed is the thing that India is first, Indians especially the traditional or the orthodox society, as being we put forward to serve the people first, not the people first, but serving the greed first, and then looking over the people on which we are, giving certain things and all. Might be this is the reason, according to me.
I'm very delighted to hear such very good answers from the such active audience. Very well said, Sahil. And this is one you have explained very good, very beautifully, and I like to tell you, because this could be the question of few people who might not have asked, but eventually it could come to the mind that yes, They are not doing things, but they are happy. But people not. No, let me tell you that. You know what is Maya? What is Maya?
The basic base is the greed. Maya has the basic, level is greed. Once the greed occurs,
In one
the
line. In
materialism
one
comes.
line. In very brief. In very brief. What is Maya?
Illusion.
Perfect. Perfect
Okay.
answer. I need not to ask from anybody. You are giving the perfect answer. Maya is illusion. What is illusion? What is not? Like a mirage in the desert, right? You are seeing things, but they are not actually. जो है ही नहीं असल में वो दिखना. Now, this is basically a mirage. This is basically a Maya. Now, you must know about law of karma. Like for every action, there is a equal and corresponding reaction. You will get that reaction. Although there might be the time lag between them, but there is definitely the reaction. So there are 2 points I like to state here. Everyone will get what is due to him, and secondly, you will for every action there will be a reaction. So people there, they follow the concept of writing, and as you mentioned, they are providing charities. They are having Easter days. They are giving things. Even if you know that in India, even there are church, right? Even if you will see in Kerala, there are churches for at every 2 kilometers. There is a church. Now, how they are managing such a thing without doing any business? Because how they have organized themselves, how they are from where they are getting such funds. People there are giving charities. There are a lot of churches there in the foreign countries surrounded about through which the city is surrounded. So people are doing charities. People are doing good from their part. It's just we think that what is looking from the outer side they are enjoying, but this is the Maya, no? Illusion. We think that wow, this is enjoying, but this is not. This might be. It might be there that he might be given the time to enjoy, or given the time that you can enjoy this part, but he is losing the his time. He could be doing some spiritual activities. He could be engaged in that, but he's if not doing. So what is due, he will get him, and for every action, whatever they are performing, they will get the reaction. So everyone will get their karma according to your karams. So it's not that people are not getting that; they will eventually get it. So don't just get into this illusion, this Maya. And there is also one more question I like to ask from you people. Some people say that it is related to this concept also. Some people say that Sudama, who was a friend of Lord Krishna, why he was so poor? Could anybody tell me why he was so poor? Why he was not rich?
Maybe due to the caste system at that time, because there were certain caste, or the group or the community at that time, where they have to live under a certain assets with themselves, because as you know that the kshatriya may have a large chunks of the assets with them. Below to that, the caste system that we have earlier, they would have a smaller level or the smaller range of the assets with them. So might be the Sudama has that reason with him which led him to be the having the life of a beggar, or not the beggar but the more deprived person among that
Was the
community.
basic comforts. But
Yeah,
Lord Krishna was there. He was his friend also. He could have given him all the luxuries, all the enjoyments. Why he was not given to him?
but actually the Brahmana at that time, they cannot join the community of the Kshatriya or any Rajaswa. Might be due to the reason the Lord Krishna, because of the master and the student relation that we can say, he was readily to offer a lot of good assets to the Sudama. But I think due to the societal barriers, one can say that Sudama, being a Brahman and having a teaching of the same, he cannot perform the same assets, or he cannot accept those things from the Krishna. That I only know this story.
Okay, you might be right from the external point, from the materialistic point, from what you have been looking. I'll tell you something from the spiritual point of view, which is, in my opinion, which I have heard or which I have learned. That is, people who are bewildered of, who are having too much enjoyment, who enjoy a lot, who are having a lot of materialistic things. For such people, steady determination, focus of the mind, and doing spiritual practices is like a very tough job. There's something that's not possible, that will not come easily to them, because they are surrounded by that sense of enjoyment, by that material wealth. Now, people who are having so much of this enjoyment and such materialistic things, such aishwarya, वो ऐश्वर्य जो भोग, सब जो भोग है, सब कुछ है, it's actually a disease. Lord Krishna says that to whom I am merciful, I will take away all this disease. Because if there will be no disease, what you will be doing? You will be closer to the Lord. You will be chanting. You will be doing things. But if you are surrounded by these things, then it's very, it's like very difficult that you may have a steady determination or closeness to the Lord. So it is sometimes, that's why it's sometimes told that it's because it was of God's blessings. Now people measure God's blessings through the wealth, how much wealth I have. If I'm not having much wealth, might be God might be upset or angry with me. So this is the wrong standards we have taken, that through the God's worship we may get the materialistic desire. This is not necessarily the standard. The real wealth is the closer to the God. So it was said by Lord Krishna, as I have heard, that he has taken all away. To whom he is merciful, he has taken away all these disease, because this is the disease basically which is prevailing around, because you will be thinking of all these things. So this is the disease prevailing around, and so these things will be in touch. You will be in touch with these things, and you will not be away from the Lord. So if you are not, the real wealth is to the closer to the Lord, being closer to the Lord. That's why what Sudama was, and he is very fortunate. What is the real asset of the soul? It is the real consciousness of the Lord. Now, if you are not having money, without money you might get a place, like, but if you are having so much money and you are not having the consciousness, you will just waste all the money. So there will be no use of the money. So the real asset of the soul is the real consciousness of the Lord. So this was one of the reason that Sudama was deprived of wealth. I have also one more reason. I have just came to know recently that firstly Sudama was not having so much of money, but once when he come to the Lord Krishna and he meet him and he asked him that, and then he was, at that time I think he was given a lot of wealth, and he was given full of coins. So he even asked Lord Krishna that, why, if you are my friend, why you have not helped me earlier? Then this is the second point of view which I have heard, that it's because you have not come to me earlier. In the physical form, if God is present, you have to use that study of your body. You have to go to your deity. You have to go to your master and ask for them. Then you may get it. If you're not asking in that form, that he will not be understanding. This is the second concept. That's why when he came in front of him, that's why when he get it. So this is one of the second reason that I've heard. But as you know, there are many more things and stories to it. So this was my opinion to it. I hope it's clear to everyone. So now I rest my questions here. Anybody wants to ask any question, or we shall be winding up the session.
I remember from your question one Sakhi of Krishna, that the mother of Pandavas, the Kunti, also once when Krishna ji just wants to leave from Mathura, then she bowed down in front of Krishna and asked him that, "Oh Lord, just please, if you just wants to give me something, then I just wants to give me desires." So Krishna says, "Why you just wants to be with in the pain of grief and desire?" pain of this dukh, what we can say, grief. So she said that if you will give me all the happiness in my life, then I will one day forget you, and I will never remember you. So she just bow down and wants only that wish to Krishna, that I just wants only pain in my life.
So as to remember God, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that was so beautiful. Some people desire for pain because only in the pain you really remember the Lord, you really use such a study of your mind, and otherwise you are
So ना
just
दुख
busy in
में
your
सिमरन,
materialistic life.
दुख में सिमरन सब करे, सुख में करे ना कोय, जो सुख में सिमरन करे, दुख काहे को होए.
Very well said. So I hope today's video was very interesting. It was about the austerity, the attributes of the austerity, where we have read about austerity of the body. बॉडी से तपस्या करनी है, ऑस्टेरिटी ऑफ स्पीच, अपनी सही बातों से बोलना ऐसा जो दूसरों को प्लीज करे, एंड ऑस्टेरिटी ऑफ द माइंड, कीपिंग द प्योर थॉट्स. दिस कुड आल्सो बी प्रैक्टिस even if you are living a materialistic life. Remember that it's not only the yogis, you can also practice that. So this was the Simpy here, and so I will be winding up. So I'll request everyone to please close your eyes, and we will end up this session. Close your eyes and remember the name of the Lord. Chant the name of the Lord in which you believe. So, Nanak Naam, Chaddi Kala, Tere Pani, Sarbatta Pala. Thank you everyone for being such a wonderful audience, an active audience, and participating in such activities, because I know it's not easy, but for you people, thank you so much, and we'll meet you in the next session. Till then, thank you so much for all the lovely comments. I've been reading everyone here, and thank you so much. So, Nanak Naam, Shardi Kala, Teri Pani, Sarbat Dabla. Take your leave.